Top 7 Best CPU for Video Editing in 2023. Through extensive research and testing, I have put together the list of options that will meet the need of different types of buyers. So whether it's price, performance, or particular use, we have got you covered. For more information, I have put links of products in the description. Make sure to check it out. Like the video, comment, don't forget to subscribe, and let's get started. Number 7. AMD Ryzen 5 3600 core desktop processor. For those of you who are on a tight budget, you can even find non-X editions of AMD Ryzen processor that can be a great budget-friendly option for many. AMD Ryzen 5 3600 CPU is the cheapest option stated here in this listicle, which is the perfect option for entry-level computers. Since this is more or less a slightly slower version of the previously stated 3600X, you get a total of 6 cores and 12 threads with this one too. This is combined along with 35 MB of cache, which is important for high-performance video editing. The only difference between this and the X edition of this CPU is its slightly different clock speeds of 3.6 GHz base and 4.2 GHz boost clocks. With these slightly lower clock speeds, you get a TDP rating of 65 watts, making it one of the most efficient options out there. You also get the AMD M4 socket with this CPU for easily using it with any AMD motherboard of your choice. Number 6. AMD Ryzen 5 3600X 6-core desktop processor. AMD Ryzen processors also come at an entry-level price tag that can be a great option for buyers on a budget who want to build an entry-level editing computer. The AMD Ryzen 5 3600X CPU for video editing is a great affordable option for all those of you who are on a tight budget. Because of its low price tag, you get a total of 6 cores and 12 threads. Despite that, you still get 35 MB of cache with it, which is much higher even than Intel's high-end offerings. Since this processor only offers 6 cores, its clock speeds are decently high with a 3.8 GHz base and a 4.4 GHz boost clock. Even though AMD offers high-efficiency processors, this one has a TDP rating of 95 watts, as this is an X edition CPU. Fortunately, you still get the standard AMD M4 socket with this processor. Number 5. Intel Core i7 10700K desktop processor. Intel has also caught up with AMD in terms of offering high core count processor models with its newer models under the Intel Core lineup of processors like the one mentioned here. This Intel Core i7 10700K CPU for video editing can be a great value for money octa-core processor for many users, since it supports hyperthreading. You get a total of 8 cores and 6 threads with this CPU. And unlike older Intel CPU, this one even comes with a decent amount of 16 MB cache, which is on par with higher-end Core i9 models. Being an Intel CPU model, it features very high clock speeds of 3.8 GHz base and 5.1 GHz, making it perfect for both video editing and gaming on your computer. Unfortunately, because this Intel CPU still uses 14nm architecture, its TDP is quite high at 125 watts. As Intel has moved to a new generation, it uses the newer LGA 1200 socket. Number 4. AMD Ryzen 7 2700X processor. We have yet another mid-range CPU option from AMD that can be a good option for those who want a high core count processor without paying a premium for the same. AMD Ryzen 7 2700X CPU for video editing is one of the cheapest octa-core options out there. To be exact, this processor features an 8-core and 16 threads that are great for video editing. But because it is a fairly old CPU model, you will only get 20 MB cache with it. But the biggest letdown of this processor is that you only have a base clock of 3.7 GHz and a boost clock of 4.3 GHz, which does not offer performance close to the recent options because of IPC differences. Because of the older architecture, its TDP is also a bit high at 105 watt TDP. Fortunately, since it is an AMD processor, it still uses the AMD M4 socket. Number 3. AMD Ryzen 7 3700X 8-core desktop processor. AMD Ryzen is known for offering high value for money processor models, out of which its Ryzen 7 is considered as a great mid-range option for many in terms of its performance. The AMD Ryzen 7 3700X CPU for video editing is one of the best value for money options out there. Despite having a mid-range price tag, you get a total of 8 cores and 16 threads with this CPU. In fact, You also get a total of 36 MB of cache, which is great for video editing. Even though this is a previous generation CPU from AMD, you still get a decent base clock speed of 3.6 GHz and a boost clock speed of 4.4 GHz. One of the best things about this CPU is that it is just a 65-watt TDP processor, making it highly efficient. And since this is an AMD CPU, it uses the AMD M4 socket for easily using it with a wide range of motherboards. Number 2. Intel Core i9900K Desktop Processor. Intel's Core lineup of processors is one of the most popular options out there when it comes to gaming CPU that can also be viable for other computing tasks, like video editing. This Intel Core i9900K CPU for video editing is present at the 3rd position in this article because this is a great gaming CPU that can also be used for video editing. Even though this CPU is made for gaming, you still get 8 cores and 16 threads with it. However, it only features 16 MB of cache, which is a bit low for tasks like video editing. Fortunately, you get excellent clock speeds with this octa-core CPU, which includes a base clock of 3.6 GHz and a boost clock of 5.0 GHz, resulting in good performance, even though it has an iGPU in the form of Intel UHD 630. It has a TDP rating of just 95 watts. Being a mainstream CPU, it uses the highly popular LGA 1151 socket from Intel. Number 1. AMD RYZEN Unlocked Desktop Processor. AMD RYZEN lineup is known for high performance and high value for money consumer-grade CPU that can be used for all kinds of uses, including video editing. The AMD RYZEN 95900X CPU for video editing is present at the 1st position in this list since it is one of the best all-rounder options out there. Even at its given price tag, you get a total of 12 cores and 24 threads with it. When combined with its 70 MB of cache, you can expect excellent performance from it. Unlike other 12-core CPU, this one comes with superb clock speeds of 3.7 GHz base and 4.8 GHz boost, making this CPU great for both gaming and video editing. And the best part about this processor is that it offers all of this with just a 105-watt TDP. Since this CPU uses the AMD M4 socket, it is also highly versatile with the different options out there. So guys, that's all for the top 7 best CPU for video editing in 2023. The links of all products are given in the description, which are updated for the best prices. Subscribe our channel for more videos. We will meet in next video. Till then, take care. Bye.